something I've been checking you out. Baby, you caught my eye. I wanna see where this goes. Want you to be my wife. Baby, it's something special, more perfect than a diamond. Got the body of a wine glass. I granted you permission, yeah, I give you the hard pass. Let's not let all of this time pass. I want you here forever, on heaven, earth, beyond that. I like you, I like to see where we can go beyond here. And if you feel that way too, let's go fly away and see where we live. Baby, I would like to get to know you. Baby, I would like to see if you feeling this way too. I've traveled the world and I've never seen quite a smile, never seen such a girl as beautiful as you are tonight. Baby, I would like to get to know you. Time is precious, that's why I can't waste none of it. You're my prescription, make me your default, I'll forget. Baby, just listen, I'm finna wrap it up real quick. You're full of gifts, like a present, I call that Saint Nick. If you choose me and make me a boo, I'll stay beside you, hope you fight all your obstacles. I'll always treat you, make you feel everything's possible. I'll always love you and trust you, oh baby. You see me through all my flaws and negative vibrations. That's why I'm digging you, baby. Tell me what you wanna do. Baby, I would like to get to know you. Baby, I would like to see if you feeling this way too. I've traveled the world and I've never seen quite a smile, never seen such a girl as beautiful as you are tonight. Baby, I would like to get to know you. Baby, I would like to get to know you. Baby, I would.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I did the radical intro. Hi, everyone. It's Saturday morning. I hope everybody's having a great time. I know I am. I see that there's a few people here already. Um, Give me 1 second, guys. I see that I have Jose Melanated Night already started this chat. Welcome to another episode of Latin Explaining. My name is Denise Gonzalez. For those who do not know me, for those who do, you guys know that I always ask, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. And also, before we start today's show, I have a special announcement to make. And to be honest with you, I was very reluctant to even talk about this because you guys know I don't like to go overboard with explanations or even go overboard at all when it comes to the stupidity that we have to live through on this YouTube community. But I am forced by many situations that have happened in the last weeks to actually address this issue. And I'm going to make a few announcements. Things are about to change here on Latin Explaining. Things are about to change here, not only on my channel, but are going to change on with my persona as well. And I'm going to be explaining why before I start today's show. First of all, today is the last day that I will be joining other streams that are not either Jose streams. If you're not subscribed to Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, make sure that you are subscribed. That's like between Jose and Ramon streams. Those are the only ones that I will be joining unless I announce otherwise here. But those are the only ones that I will be joining. Today is my last time joining Radical stream because Radical is my friend. I appreciate his content. I think he's doing amazing. However, it's out of his control the amount of disgusting individuals that even when I avoid them, they seem to try to find me and just do disgusting commentary. Okay, so I'm not going to continue having to put up with that. No one is supposed to be put up with that. I try to keep things as real as possible, but I am only human. I'm not going, it's been literally 11 months of disgusting behavior and personal attacks for no other reason than disagreements. So, to be honest with you, like I said, I don't have a problem with people disagreeing with me, but don't try to come at me on a personal level because I have not done that with anybody. You can look at every participation that I have had, and I don't go at people's personal lives unless, and that's another thing that I want to say. Up until now, it's about to be a year since I first joined one of Radical Streams, and I have not attacked no one on a personal level. That's going to change. If you come at me personally, I'm going to respond personally. And I know I have refrained myself from doing so. I'm not going to do it on this panel or on my channel. But if you attack me on any other comment section that I am, when I'm not even talking to you because I try to, you know, avoid talking to slow people. If you attack me personally, and I defend myself, just know you had it coming. And I'm not going to give any explanations. Don't try to then call and pull the woman card or the race card or the poverty card or the alphabet community card. None of those cards are going to work because I have not attacked no one based on those cards. But if you come at me personally, I don't care about your card. I have the Latina and I have the woman card. I don't use it, and I will attack you personally as well. If you see or if you use my likeness or my content without my consent, don't do a crime party afterwards when you get a strike. This is something that I have said since the first day that I joined this, that I created this channel. People literally, hi Rakim, what's up? Uh, People often come at me because of the copyright strikes situation. And I've said it many times. If you don't want to get a strike, I've said it since the first stream that I have been here, do not use my likeness or my content if you don't have my permission. It's just what it is. Those are the rules of YouTube. If you don't like them, take it up with YouTube. It's not my fault. I'm just stating as it is. Create content that doesn't involve my likeness or ask permission. Now, another thing that I want to say, moderators, you have been granted power to actually delete and control the chat. I cannot do a show without you, and I appreciate all the hard work that you guys do. However, if you guys see any commentary that is personal attacks, like I don't mind jokes and whatnot, or even disagreements. If you have a disagreement, that's okay. If you see personal attacks, block the person from the channel forever. Okay, I'm giving you permission to do that. So definitely, like I said, use the power that I have granted you. I'm not going to ask any questions. You see personal disgusting attacks, make sure you block that person forever. Now, one thing I want to say, I like when people come up here and state their opinion. I absolutely encourage that at all times. However, I'm going to say something because I don't like when people overtalk each other, because a lot of people in the chat often say they can't understand. They can't understand what's happening. So, to be honest with you, if you come up here and you share your opinion, there's no problem if you disagree with what I am saying or the panel members are saying. Disagree with facts. Now, if you overtalk me, the host and the creator in this channel, or overtalk any panel member, I'm going to put you backstage so that you can understand you cannot overtalk people. And I will tell you to not overtalk people as a warning. If I bring you back on, giving you a second chance, because everyone deserves a second chance, and you do the same thing again, then I will ban you from ever joining Latin explaining panels forever. I want people to understand that. This is a discussion that you can totally disagree with. However, we're not going to continue, especially I'm not going to continue to put myself through the stress of people that don't know how to debate or disagree like the grown-ups we are. With that being said, guys, I am so happy that you guys are here. And to be honest with you, I am sorry that I had to start the show that way, but I think it's something that was needed. um, I know I've talked to a few people about what's going on. Uh, if you, like I said, if you don't know how to behave yourself online and you are an adult, um, I'm not forced to deal with you. You're entitled to be disgusting, and I am entitled to block your ass. Other than that, thank you guys for joining, and let's get this show started.
Take it to the next level.
Starting this week, I know a lot of people that follow me on Instagram saw that I posted recently something that was extremely disturbing. And a lot of people, I know a lot of people that, endorse one side of the other, actually saw this stuff, and some of them messaged me. But I want to say that I posted something for entertainment purposes only, but in reality, it's so cringeworthy. Joe Biden basically, I don't know if you guys are aware, but he basically reenacted or restarted the Remain in Mexico policy or the program. Um, regarding the immigration for Mexicans, Central Americans, and Haitians that are coming through the border. And basically, for all of you guys that don't know what this is about, basically, during Trump years, Joe Biden used to, and a lot of Democrats used to criticize President. Yeah, definitely, Rakim. Definitely, we're tired of that. um, Joe Biden actually criticized, along with a lot of Democrats, criticized Donald Trump for his Remain in Mexico program, basically blocking a lot of Mexican, Central Americans, and Haitians from coming to this country illegally. Okay, so basically, I posted the hypocrisy of his message because when Trump was in office in March 11 of 2020, Joe Biden tweeted, Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico policy is dangerous, inhumane, and goes against everything we stand for as a nation of immigrants. My administration will end it. Now, not even a year after his presidency, he says US and Mexico reached deal to restart the Trump era Remain in Mexico program along border. Announcing plan for tomorrow with implementation likely next week. So, guys, I don't know if you see through the stupidity, but I remember when there was a lot of people from our collective that used to tell me all the time, hey, you know what? Um, you're a Trumper and you're this and you're that. If you did not support Joe Biden, when Joe Biden even said to us that nothing was going to potentially ever change during his presidency. However, a lot of us didn't believe the bullshit, and now we're seeing what's going on. And I wonder where are all those people that supported Joe Biden because he was going to eliminate the Remain in Mexico program. I wonder where they went. Don't you? And it's so crazy because I want to ask something like, how is it dangerous, inhumane, and going against everything we stand for as a nation of immigrants? But when Joe Biden does it, it goes to show what? It stopped being inhumane, it stopped being dangerous, it stopped being against everything we stand for as a nation. I'll let you respond that. But to be honest with you, I see through the hypocrisy of a lot of our politicians right now, and it's super cringeworthy, which is basically why I'm doing this show today, because it's going to be hella funny what we're going to discuss. Moving from hella funny to actually something that we don't know too much about, but it's been happening in this country, is something that just came out this week. I think it was what, yesterday. Um, Governor Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, uh, has proposed to reestablish uh, a civilian military force in Florida that he will control. CNN Politics reported yesterday. And a lot of people started coming at Ron DeSantis, calling the civilian military force Gestapo, calling this like, communism or dictatorship and whatnot. And I want to remind people something that I also highlighted on this post is that this is not the first state that actually has this. Right now, states like New York and California has this civilian military force in place. There's actually 23 states that have this force. Florida even used to have this force in 1941 when we were in the World War II, when the National Guard troops was deployed to assist in the war, and Florida had their own civilian force in the past. So this is not a new thing. This is not something that we have not seen before. This is something that, it's just uh, here to, stay. And to be honest with you, there is something that, in my opinion, is a little alarming. Why are we reinforcing this? That's something that probably Governor Ron DeSantis knows and he's not telling, obviously, because our politicians don't tell us anything that matters until it's too late. So, why do we need more forces of more law enforcement? I don't know. I don't know, but it's time for us to start catching on the wave of why we're reinforcing our security this way, because to me, it's alarming. If it was only created during war, we're just recovering from a pandemic. It's not like we're basically, um, you know, in a very financially stable place. Why are we then investing more money in security when people actually need financial security? I don't know if you catch my drift, but basically, that's what's going on right now. And to be honest, I don't know. Now, moving from things that we don't know to things that we knew but we couldn't say. You guys saw me last week covering the fact that covering the news of 21-year-old Justin Santos, which basically is uh, Austin Santos, better known as Arcangel, which is a reggaeton singer. His young brother, that was 21 years old, was literally hit by a drunk driver in the Teodoro Moscoso Bridge this past November 21st, by this lady that, for a long time, I think over what, 2 weeks, we wouldn't know who she was. Like I said, I had her picture before. I couldn't post it, obviously, because a lot of people, it was not yet official. Now, one thing I would say is that the police report came out with the analysis of alcohol levels in her blood, and she came out with blood alcohol content of 0.29%. Yes, you heard me right, 0.29%, when the legal limit is 0.08%. So she had 0.21% over the legal limit. And she literally drove in the opposite traffic to kill Justin Santos, that was literally having a good time. He was not doing anything um, out of the norm. And because he was having a good time, simply, um, this is what happened. Hi, Ramon. How are you? That's okay. I know, this is the stream when you're at work and we're all here talking. But basically, I want to park here real quick because I know this is unpopular opinion, but in my opinion, this same year I reported, this is the second incident that we have where someone turns out to be dead on the Teodoro Moscoso Bridge. If you guys remember, I reported on Felix Verdejo and his assassination of his long-term mistress that was pregnant at the time, and he literally killed her in that same bridge. He threw her over the lagoon and drove away. In 2 days, 2 days, we already had footage and charges pressed towards Felix Verdejo for the assassination of Keishla Rodriguez. Now, Justin Santos, 21-year-old kid, because 21 years old is still very young, gets killed by this lady that was selfish enough to be drinking her ass off in the middle of the day. She was drunk as hell. She crashes into him, kills him, and it takes law enforcement more than 2 freaking weeks, as if they're dragging their feet, to actually press charges. First of all, they said they didn't have enough information. I'm like, how you didn't have enough information when you have the blood analysis and is in a bridge that's highly supervised by a lot of security measures via cameras, witnesses, and you also have literally at the beginning, you have a toll where there's people actually seeing what's happening in the bridge. I don't get this. And I hate to call this a double standard, but it's starting to seem like it is, among other things that I'm not authorized to say. Just look at the last name, figure it out. If you're Puerto Rican, look at Mayra E. Nevares Torres' name and you figure it out. This is the second member of the family that does it. Now, my thing is, imagine if it was Justin Santos that killed Mayra because he was drunk. What would have happened? We would have the Colectiva Feminista. We would have a lot of people chanting. We would have the whole country crying and a lot of stuff happening. But because it's just another 21-year-old that's, fuck it. It was a lady that killed him. So who cares? He probably was doing something. I saw some comments when people were like, well, he probably was just running in this Can-Am, I'm like, I am so pissed off with certain individuals that think that is okay for a person to kill another one simply because, well, he was running on a 4-track or he was running this or that, and he's always looking for a justification for the killer to go free. It's not gonna go free, and a lot of us actually have realized what's going on. We put 2 and 2 together, and we know what is happening. So trust me, this is far, far from over. Far from over. And speaking of far from over, if you owe money and you're sick and tired of hearing from debt collectors, guess what? Now debt collectors are allowed to DM you on your social media. Starting Tuesday, yes, this Tuesday, collectors can DM you following a new federal amendment made on the obsolete 1977 Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Debt collectors, will have to identify themselves right away, and the recipient can decide to block them if they desire, but collectors are not allowed to post anything publicly on posts on your social media wall, etc., etc. And Americans, I want people to know this fact. Americans have accumulated an all-time high debt of $15 trillion in this quarter alone. So debt collectors started pushing now for um, for this whole thing to be allowed, kind of like, like the Jehovah Witnesses have fought to like go into gated communities to preach the word of the Lord. Well, debt collectors are right behind them, and now they are literally authorized legally to DM you to see when they're gonna get their money back. So let me know what you guys think about this. But I think um, there's no peace now. If you borrowed that money, if you thought you were wilding and this was never gonna come for you, honey, good luck. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna run away. They're still gonna come for you. They're still gonna, do all the things that they need to collect that money. Now, before, I know a lot of people were like, well, I don't care because I will block them from my phone and whatnot. And and now, I mean, if you block them from your DM, I don't know what else they're gonna do, but trust me, they're coming for their money and they're coming in hot. Now, guys, that has been oh my god, look at Jose, so cold word of the Lord, absolutely so cold. But guys, that has been all for all the news today. Tomorrow I will bring more news. Trust me, there's a lot of things happening that I want to shed a light on. But today we have limited time before we can continue discussing what's going on. So let's keep this show moving. Well, this week has been a very eventful week. And why am I talking about this? Is because we just saw heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury, explain how the sweet science is not necessarily so sweet. What am I talking about? Basically, I posted on my social media this week an interview that the champion, the heavyweight champion, said, uh, basically did on November 30th. And he basically said that he did some statements regarding what has been known as the sweet science in boxing, which is basically how you become very knowledgeable about things and techniques that you use in order to punish your opponent and receive the less punishment in order to win. And he basically said that in boxing, the science is bullshit. Yes, you heard me right. And he even used former Mexican heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz as another piece of proof that the science isn't all in the sport. Now, I don't know if you agree with the Gypsy King, but basically he said he claims that the sport science means fuck all in boxing, as he doesn't consult it and yet keeps on winning. The undefeated fighter most recently beat Deontay Wilder in the trilogy fight to retain his belt, and he is targeting a unification bout with the winner of Anthony Joshua's rematch with Alexander Usyk. On Instagram Live, he spoke to his followers about why he believes the science in relation to boxing is bollocks. He basically said, in boxing, computer science technology, I personally don't think science works. Because take me for instance, I am fat, I am bald. People say I am out of shape. I don't do any of that bullshit with computers, numbers on a screen, and all that stuff, but yet I always win. So it basically means fuck all. Tyson used Joshua's defeat to Andy Ruiz in 2019 as an example to make his point, and he basically said there's a lot of fighters that suggest that, but he's like when you look at the likes of Anthony Joshua, who follows all them rules, science rules, numbers on a screen and whatnot, And you look at Andre Ruiz, who didn't do any but eat Snickers for the full 2 weeks that he had, and went in there and knocked him out. And then probably didn't even train for the rematch and took him the distance. So there's a lot of stuff to say that all the numbers and things, the science doesn't really work in boxing. I don't think it does anyway. Fury's next fight is yet to be confirmed, but he was left frustrated after Joshua was defeated by Usyk in September. So basically, the Gypsy King is saying that now, I don't know if you guys remember when I was talking about his fight with Deontay Wilder, and when I was saying that he literally used his weight to tire him out. And even though he knew he had to get a lot of punishment, because of course he's not the most orthodox boxer, and he relies on his weight to tire out professional, very knowledgeable and very experienced boxers that are way better than him in technique, but he tires them out, and when they're exhausted to carry his weight throughout several um, rounds, then he starts boxing his way in, and he always knocks them out, or does what he does. So basically, that is his technique, and a lot of people thought it was hilarious, but it is because it's not even hilarious. I think, will this potentially change the world of boxing? Like, we have to look deeper into that now, because boxing could be changing, but what does Fury know? After all, he's fat. Isn't that what a lot of people basically always use for me, radical Latino, Rotep, everybody's fat and you don't know nothing? Well, apparently the fat cells are conquering the world. Now, moving from conquering the world to Chicago, now the Chicago Tigers have a new member. It looks like the Puerto Rican baseball player Javi Baez has signed a contract with the Detroit Tigers, well, Detroit, for 6 years, valued at $140 million. Well, basically, he left Chicago to actually join the Detroit Tigers, and he's going to be there expectedly for 6 years. So basically, guys, I don't know if you are excited if you live in Detroit or areas that are surrounding. Hey, JS, what's up? Uh, you might be excited to see Javi Baez, one of the most notorious Puerto Rican baseball players of this modern era. Obviously, doesn't compare with my favorite, Yadier Molina from St. Louis Cardinals, because that is the best, but he's basically up in that group as well. So I'm very excited to see what now is going to happen with the Detroit Tigers and Javier Baez in the Tigers. Now, guys, that has been all for sports. Like I said, tomorrow I will bring more stuff. And if you think I have not known anything about Gervonta and Cruz, trust me, tomorrow I'm going to talk about it before the fight even happens. So chill out, take a seat. The fight is tomorrow. Let's keep it moving. A dream has come true. A dream has come true for the WAP creator Cardi B. Cardi B has now become the first creative director of Playboy, and she will be part of the upcoming platform from the Playboy brand and will be called Centerfold, among other collaborations she will do with the company. Now, she's the first woman to ever do something like this, and she posted on her Twitter saying, "Your girl is now the first ever creative director in the residence at Playboy. What a dream. I'm getting the party started as the founding director and founding member of Centerfold, the new creator led platform from Playboy. I'm so excited for everything that's coming." I don't know if you might love or hate Cardi B, but we know that Cardi B is out there conquering and creating her own little empire. So, to be honest with you, I'm so excited to see what Cardi B is gonna do. I don't necessarily watch Playboy or do anything related to. But I mean, hey, we gotta support our girl. After all, she's another fellow Latina. And remember, every time that people hate on Cardi B, I question them on something. Would you have preferred Cardi B being this ghetto mama living off of the welfare that we paid for, or you would have preferred that she just move up in her sexual career and provide for herself? Obviously, she provides for herself, so we all prefer that. Thank you very much. So, guys, that has been all for music today. Like I said, today we're gonna keep it a little shorter because it's Saturday. It's too early. I haven't had any coffee. I did had a little bit of Red Bull, and that's it. So bear with me. And now let's keep it moving, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. If you're coming in, make sure that you hit that like button. And if you have not done so, subscribe. If you're watching me on the replay, make sure that if you have any reaction, leave them on the comment section and I will read them and reply to you as soon as I can. Now, without any further ado, let's move into our main topic. Now, our main topic: make America intelligent again. I know a lot of people know that Democrats are going through hell. I know a lot of people enjoy when I get a little bit political here on my channel, and I'm going to do so today. I've noticed that when I talk about Democrats, because of course they're now in the mainstream, the last 4 years it was the Republicans that were on the mainstream, so everybody got to talk about them. But to be honest with you, um, now the Democrats are in the spotlight and they're losing left and right simply because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And people are growing disgruntled with their policies. They are dropping everything that they run on. They run on banning the whole Remain in Mexico policy. They ran on the $15 minimum wage, the forgiveness of the student loan. They ran on the paid family leave. All of those things have been left out, and people are actually realizing this is just Donald Trump with a mask. It's the same thing. And this is something that we were all telling you guys that voted for the Democratic Party, thinking that they were going to change something. We told you guys before. And before you get all in your, spirits and whatnot, I'm not saying Republicans are any different. We have to understand that a lot of these people, most of our politicians that are in either blue or red, they both participate in the same oligarchy that we have, and they both take corporate money, they both abide by those rules, and they both do the same thing. What I have noticed is that whenever I talk about Democrats, a lot of people come at me with Republican talking points. And today we're going to talk about that, because I don't believe, and I want to people to understand, when I talk about the Democratic Party, it's not because I'm saying the Republicans are better. Republicans are just Democrats dressed in red, and Democrats are just Republicans dressed in blue. We're talking about one party. In real life, they both screw over people like you and me because they are owned by corporations, and media helps them because media gets also corporate money by the same corporations that owned our political parties, which is why I believe we need to support either a new party or an independent candidate if we are to see some change. So I see that Jose says here, they are allowing two Democratic senators dictate what the Democracy Party so-called wants to do. The Republicans are not better. Absolutely. And what I have noticed is that this is something that has spilled over already to the Latino community. Because a lot of people might ask me, Denise, why are you talking about this? Like, this is American issues and whatnot. Well, let me tell you something. This has already spilled over our community. And we have people doing stupid decisions because they are believing basically what the Republicans are saying is the solution to Democrat problems and vice versa. And none of them have a real solution. Both of them are the same problem, the same cancer, and both of them are in cahoots with each other. And the fact that we have people today that believe that they are not is scary. And this is becoming like a cult, something that is extremely, extremely, extremely scary to see. And I want to share with you guys a few things that I found that are extremely hilarious to me. I found this. I found this Twitter account. Give me 1 second. I found this Twitter account this past week that was extremely hilarious. If you guys give me a second, I'm live. So obviously a lot of things can happen. But it was extremely hilarious to see the hypocrisy. And I want to take you on a journey with me. I found a few of them online. Give me 1 second. I found a few of them. I share a few of them on my Instagram, but I want to take you with me to some of these things, and we're gonna see that in just a year. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Okay, you guys can see it. In just the matter of 1 year, we're seeing a lot of changes. Give me 1 second, guys. We're seeing a lot of changes in the mindsets of our favorite politicians, our favorite Twitter personalities and whatnot. And I'm going to take you down that path with me. The first one is our Vice President, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris tweeted in February 1st of 2020, Trump's extended un-American travel ban undermines our nation's core values. It is clearly driven by hate, not security. Now, a year later, well, not a year and some months later, on November 28, 2021, after she told Guatemalans to stay there because they were going to get back, after the United States and the Department of State released, I don't know if you guys remember, when they released, and I share it here, that Brazil, Venezuela, and Canada are also included in the ban, that they cannot participate in visa lotteries. And this is the first time in American history that this has happened. Now she basically saying, we have done what we believe is necessary. Vice President Kamala Harris said in regards to travel restrictions over the new Omicron COVID variant. And not only that, she backed up the new ban countries from the visa lotteries to enter this country, including, like I said, Canada, Brazil, and Venezuela. Now, another lady that literally cracked me up was, as a New Yorker born and bred, I don't want your stinking vaccine, Donald Trump. If you're not vaccinated, you should have zero contact with the public. Literally, she said this on November 13, 2020. And then later on in September 25, 2021, not even a year later, if you're not vaccinated, you should have zero contact with the public. Now we go back to Joe Biden and basically what I shared earlier. And basically, if you go to Defiant LS on Twitter, you're gonna have a laugh. He basically says Donald Trump's remain in Mexico policy is dangerous, inhumane, and goes against everything we stand for as a nation of immigrants. My administration will end it. And then you guys know that he basically reenacted the whole thing, but he's putting it as the Trump era remain in Mexico program. Like, he's not taking accountability for it. It's always Trump. And now another one, hypocrisy. Like I said, it's not only our politicians, but we're seeing people echoing the same mindset. And she goes, Kyla Enderberg says, in May 16 of 2020. It's called Empathy. 90,000 Americans have lost their lives. And then she goes back on November 28, 2021. She's like, sometimes I sit back and ponder how great America will actually be if a new COVID variant wiped out every single unvaccinated person in the US, leaving only the caring, educated, selfless people with common fucking sense in just a year and some months. Now we go to hypocrite Amy, Amy Siskind, and she said in October 24, 2020, Trump is taking a page from Putin's playbook and trying to bully the FDA into making a COVID 19 vaccine available before stage 3 of testing is complete. He will kill us all. 71 days. And then now on November 28, 2021, she said, she tweeted, boosted. Had an appointment I made last week, listened to and read advice of our public health officials. They're unanimous on the need to get vaccinated and keep up with vaccinations. Trust science. I don't know if you guys catch this whole thing. I don't know if you guys are catching the hypocrisy of these people. It's something that it keeps on happening because I'm gonna continue going down this path. Look at this freaking moron, Pat Burke. He's like, how freaking tragic. This was in March 3rd, 2021. How freaking tragic that a little girl has to sell lemonade to pay for her brain surgery. This isn't a feel-good story. It's a story of national shame. Every American should have a right to quality health care. And then literally he goes on November 23rd, 2021 and says, I'm introducing a bill that allows insurance providers to deny coverage for COVID related treatment to those who refuse to be vaccinated. Do your part or pay your own way. Freedom isn't free. Look at this ass twat telling that to people that on top of the right wing healthcare system that we have, he's going to add another layer for people to actually not be covered because he just feels like this is something that, needs to happen for some reason. Now we have our infamous Robert Reich saying on October 7, 2020, abolishing fossil fuels is a good thing. Obviously, this is when Trump was in office. And then he says, now when Biden is in office on November 26, 2021, let me ask again, why isn't the media reporting that oil companies choose to raise prices rather than increase supplies? Isn't he the one that's saying abolishing fossil fuels was a good thing during the Trump era? I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, as if that wasn't enough, we have the mummy Pelosi. And I mean mummy as la momia, as a mummy that's in a sarcophagus, because this lady has been in office longer than my life. And she says, she basically said on January 31st, 2020, the Trump administration expansion of its un-American travel ban is a threat to our security, our values, and the rule of law. Burying more than 350 million people from predominantly African countries from traveling to the US. This rule is discrimination disguised as policy. And I ask people like Nancy Pelosi, because I know the CNN thing is not necessarily according to um, according to COVID, this expansion of the travel ban was not COVID related. But I wonder, isn't it discriminatory when you ban Canada, when you ban Brazil and Venezuela? When you told Mexicans and Guatemalans to stay at home, to remain in Mexico, that's not un-American? I see. I understand. That part is not un-American. It's only un-American when your presidency is not Democrat. If it comes from a Republican, it's when it's un-American. Okay, I understand. I think we get it. Now, here he goes, Joe Biden in October 15, 2020, when Trump was in office, he said, we're 8 months into the pandemic and Donald Trump still doesn't have a plan to get this virus under control. I do. And now, in November 22nd, 2021, The Hill reported U.S. COVID-19 deaths in 2021 outpaced last year's toll. But he said he had a plan. He literally said he had a plan. What is the plan, Joe? What is the plan, Joe? Now, moving from this, again, John Sickles, another ascot. Look, I want you guys to see the hypocrisy again. When Trump was in office September 2nd, 2020, he said, "This is crazy. Phase 3 trials cannot possibly be completed by October. I will wear a mask and stay indoors rather than be a guinea pig for an untested vaccine. The CDC has been corrupted by Trump." That's what he said on September 2nd, 2020. And then on November 16, 2021, he says, "For the rest of my life, I will never understand how millions of people were conned into not taking a safe, effective, and free vaccine to combat a deadly disease." Well, John Sickles, I have a question. You know how they were, millions of people were conned by you, by people like you, because when the vaccine came from one party that you don't like when it comes to media, because we all know that behind closed doors, y'all love each other and have parties and invite each other to weddings and whatnot. But you were telling millions of America today that this vaccine was rushed, that it was communism, that it wasn't good, that it was, you're not gonna go be a guinea pig. You guys created the skepticism that you're trying to pin down now on Donald Trump and the Republicans. Nobody else was campaigning for this. You guys created this skepticism. You were saying that you did not want it to get a Trump vaccine because the vaccine was being done while Trump was in office. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Now we have this other hypocrite, Brian Tyler Cohen. He said literally in December last year, when he was attacking Donald Trump for all of the things, putting the last nail and sticking his thumb on the Republicans' eye, he was like, "Friendly reminder that the majority of Americans don't own stocks, but they are paying higher prices because of Trump." He said literally because of Trump. Now, when his favorite party is in office, on November 9, 2021, he says, "I love to hear the GOP, meaning the Republicans, explain how the president controlled gas prices." Didn't he just say that because of Trump, you're seeing it here, because of Trump, Americans are paying higher prices? Make us understand, Brian. Make us understand. Now, more morons. I want you to pay attention to this one because this is I don't know how many of y'all have encountered this type of moronic tweeters, Twitter users or Instagram users that come at you with this same shit. And he said on September 3, 2020, "Fuck Trump's vaccine. It's not coming anywhere near my family. Hashtag fuck Trump's vaccine. Hashtag bad medicine. Hashtag not another Trump victim." Now, later on now this year, on September 2nd, 2021, he says, "My 9-year-old is terrified of needles. But unlike all the anti-vaxxers and a-holes, he's eager." You heard me? Eager to get his vaccine. He's like, "Give me that shot. Hit me with it." My 9-year-old, a bigger man than all the willfully unvaccinated pieces of shit. Let that sink in. Do you guys let that sink in? Did you let it sink in? Now, look at this other one, using the kids as a pawn. In December 2020, he said, "COVID approves the Trump vaccine. Good luck, MAGA." Now, November 5th, not even a year later, November 5th, 2021, he said, "Got appointments for our kids' vaccines. Overjoyed and grateful. My 7-year-old son understands what this means and how important it is to stay safe and protect others." Aaron Rodgers should talk to him instead of Joe Rogan. And the list continues and continues, guys. Like, I could be here the whole day talking to you guys and finding the hypocrisies of a lot of people. Yeah, that one. Of a lot of these freaking morons. What's up, Radical? Yeah, the macro and the micro. You know, the in and the out, the up and the up and the down, and all the fuckery. And all the fuckery, to be honest with you. And the fuckery will continue. The horseshit will continue because at the end of the day, we have these people literally telling us what is convenient to get the people that they support and will pass things for them and benefit them personally in office. That's what they're telling you this. And the problem that we have right now is that you have even us Latinos and Americans, because it doesn't only include Latinos. Americans are actually buying this shit. Americans are still voting religiously for the causes that they support. We are seeing it day in, day out. We tell them things, we show them the proof, and they still keep moving the goalpost. Sounds like the Teps to me. Ameriteps. The Ameriteps. That's how I'm going to call them. I'm going to coin that. The Ameriteps are going to keep moving the goalpost, keep telling us all these stupid things that don't matter. Oh, they can't do everything while they're in office. Oh, they can't do this or they can do that. Do something. What did you get from your Democratic vote? You didn't get Medicare for all. You didn't get family pay leave. You didn't get the green taps. I like that one better, Ramon. The green taps. Yes, I love that one. I love that one. The green taps. You didn't get the minimum wage. You didn't get the student loan debt paid. What did you get for giving the Democrats your vote? When are we going to realize that the Republicans don't care, Democrats don't care? And if you are an asswat that thinks that because Republicans are not in office right now are going to do it better, you deserve the country that we're living in. It's just plain and simple. It's plain and simple. When are we going to realize we need a third party? We need independent people running for office, people that actually don't take corporate money. And another thing that I want to bring this up to all the Republic taps or the green taps that are Republican. The Republicans that are running for office are people with money, people that have millions and millions of dollars. And I'm just going to put this out there. If you have millions and millions and millions of dollars, so you're a fucking billionaire and you're running for office, you're trying to become the president of the United States. The president of the United States makes less than $500,000 per year. Okay? You're not going to stop making millions of dollars a year to make $400K because you love America that much. Okay? Can we just stop the stupidity? This applies to Donald Trump, who was a billionaire. This applies to Barack Obama, to Joe Biden, to everybody that's in there. Everybody's a fucking millionaire. Nancy Pelosi. You're not going to stop. It makes no sense to make less money because you love your country that much. That is not true. That is not true. You go into office when you make millions of dollars, you renounce to that because power is more important than money. They are not exactly, Ramon. Thank you. They are not running for office for the money. They're running for office for a reason. And it's not patriotism either. Exactly. It's not because they are the most American people. It's because they can get their hands into the decision making that will shape corporations. They will get the donations They get deals done. They get backdoor deals. Power is more important than money. And I need people to understand that. Money is good, money is important, but if the value of the money goes down, is money really more important than power? And that's a question that if you're catching this on the replay or if you're watching this now, I want to hear you in the comment section. Is money or power more important? What's more important, money or power? Money or power? But maybe, just maybe, I don't know what I am talking about. Maybe I'm just full of shit. Maybe, as usual, this stupid bee don't know what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Because a lot of people, like I've said before, a lot of people love to tell me how I'm wrong, but have no data, no statistics, no data on the refutal. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But they love to come here and tell me how I am wrong. They love to come here and tell me how I am wrong. And to those people, I want to ask them, what is more important to you, money or power? What do you think is more important in the world, the money or the power to decide who makes money, how much money they make, and where they move it to? I want to know that. I honestly want to know that. And this is the thing. When I ask these questions, have you guys noticed that a lot of people that usually love to come here on my platform to talk ish never show up, never have the answers, that they never say anything? Have you guys noticed that? Because I have noticed that. All the snowflakes and our beloved slow taps always run from things, you know, always running from things. But they love to come here and tell me how am I always wrong. How am I? Oh, I love what Melanated Knight said. He's like, with power, you can always make money, but power is a whole different beast than what people actually think it is. And Jose said they don't have any answers. Absolutely, they don't have any answers. That's why they can never meet me. And this is another thing. I started the show with a special announcement. If you didn't watch it, if you didn't see it, make sure you see it. I started the show with a special announcement, and this is precisely why I'm doing the special announcement. Because I'm getting tired of people coming at me personally because they don't understand that they are mediocre. And it's okay to disagree with me. Just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. We don't need you here. I know, like I said, I know I'm not talking to the whole population. I'm talking to literally 20%. 20% of the population. Radical says it takes a fool to always complain. It takes a wise person to always find solutions. Absolutely. And I want to, before I let people in, speaking on what we were talking about, I posted something on my Instagram today. I don't know if you guys watched the last show, but my last, a fool, Radical, I got it. But on my last show, I talk about how marriage couldn't save you and how Latinos, millennial Latinos as a bulk, is living off of the credit of baby boomers and Gen Xers. And we had certain individuals that started getting triggered as usual because of the things I say. Because I'm a woman, because, I'm not supposed to be talking about this, because I'm not supposed to care so much or say anything. Well, guess what? I've said it since the beginning, even before I had this platform. The only reason why I'm here, even though I'm a woman that is not supposed to be calling out this man, is because until I see large amounts of Latino men calling out the bull crap that's happening in our community, I'm all you got. You're stuck with me until you do something. That's it. I made it this way. Y'all did. I'm gonna share something because I've said this for so many times, and I just wanted to share this. And I'm gonna read what I posted, and you guys let me know what you think. Basically, in this graphic here, it shows the shared in upper income, basically if you're upper class, amongst men by race slash ethnicity, all the way from the 1960s to 2016, and it's on the percentage of men in the upper third income brackets. The blue is black men, the pink is Hispanic name, no pun intended, the green is Asian men, and the yellow is white men. Now, if you notice, Asian and white men are in the same type of bracket fighting for the first place. And as usual, we are at the bottom. Now, one thing I would say, I'm going to read what I posted. It says, often I have stated in different shows of how our beloved slow taps have been piggybacking from the work and efforts of the baby boomer and Gen X generations as a form of credit to say that they are quote unquote established and set financially. Also, the argument slow tips love the most is how the black community is doing worse than us, as if that is the standard to watch when moving the collective forward. After 60 years, our wealth remains the same. Nothing has improved. Baby boomers did their part, and Gen X pushed us to at least pass the baton at the same position our community once was after the 2008 2009 financial crisis. However, I can't help but wonder, once these two generations of working Latinos retire, meaning baby boomers and Gen Xers, what would be our average household income? And this is basically 18 to 64 years. 18-year-old males to 64-year-old males. And I love the fact that a lot of people love to compare themselves to black men, and they use the whole collective. Well, I didn't make this up. You can literally go and look at the statistics yourself in the Institute for Family Studies. The Institute for Family Studies separates wealth, graphics, and census data based on sex, not just ethnicity like the census does. It does it by sex too. If you are a man, you're going to be separated. If you're a woman, you're going to be separated. When analyzed, most of the people that are at the bottom financially in the black community that slow taps love to compare themselves to are single mothers. I'm not making this up. Go look at it in the Institute of Family Studies data. When they separated the men, they realized that men were superior financially right now than those of Hispanic heritage. If you realize, we have not moved our wealth, not a single point, not a single percentage since 1960. We're still at 19%. 19. Whereas black men, the ones that we love to compare ourselves to, have been at a steady 22 to 23% since 1990. 4 points, 4% ahead of us. And I know I have little fools that are like telling me all the excuses as to why I always have to say that men in the Latino community and that our millennials have to work their asses off. I'm going to let Latin explainers, I have intelligent people in this public and the people that watch me. And I want you to tell me, if we have the slow tap community that are actually all the time throwing jabs and pushing Mr. BBC to work harder. And I want you guys to analyze the question. What's going to happen to the Latin community and the Latin wealth if we're pushing the Black community to work harder, but we're making excuses for our community? If we push them to work harder, but we make excuses for our community, can somebody tell me what's going to happen? When our community is faced with the same criticism, we make excuses, but we push forward and tell the Black community to work, and they're working. What's going to happen? What is going to happen? That's a question that I want people to answer to me. When I come back from this intermission, I'm going to take, as usual, 5 minutes. And before I go, I want to remind everybody that you can follow me on Instagram, denise.gonzalez.villegas1, so that you can share with me your thoughts. You guys know that I post a lot of things over there. And, sometimes I don't have the time to actually, share everything here because there's a lot of things happening in Latin America and also our Latin diaspora. But make sure you follow me so that you can enjoy all the things that I'm doing. You can laugh with me. You can see all the jokes that I have over there. Make sure that you join my Instagram and follow me today. Now, guys, I'm going to take 5 minutes of intermission. Make sure you get your snacks, get your drinks, use the loo, do whatever you have to do. It's 1:08 out here. At 1:13, I'm going to be back with more and the panel members' reactions to today's stream. I'll see you in 5. And we are back, people. We are back. We are back. We are back. I hope everybody got their drinks, got their stuff together. And before I let Jose in, I want to remind everybody to like, subscribe, and also if you can donate to support the channel. Also, I want to remind everybody that the views and the statements of the guests do not necessarily represent those of the channel members and are those of other panel members that join in, as some comments may be offensive to the changuitos or select groups of people. Also, I want to remind you that by calling into this live show, you waive your rights to the use of your image and your likeness for the purposes of this show. Now, without any further ado, I want to welcome the one, the only, the mayor of Parkchester, where life begins and it never ends, Jose Negron.
Good day, Denise. You look beautiful today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And as if that wasn't enough, we're getting the radical Latino.
Good evening.
You mean good afternoon?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me do this one more time. Good afternoon, my people. What's going on? What's up?
Not much. How are you guys doing?
Okay, well, actually, Denise, you gave me so much to unpack. I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. First of all, regarding your announcement, the fact that you even have to make it is such a sad state of affairs on what's going on with the community. Okay.
Absolutely.
And of course, the first time that we interchanged, I mean, we had a disagreement, but we were respectful towards each other. So now, as far as the stench of hypocrisy, I mean, I can smell it from here. And the fact it is hypocritical, but it is what it is. But if we are seriously going to try to get third-party candidates, we have to be prepared to support them with our vote, support them with our financial support, and with the boots on the floor, so we can get these people elected. Radical, I thank you again for popping up on my stream. You're always welcome to share your words of wisdom whenever you are available.
Thank you, Jose.
Yeah, thank
Now, Radical, what's your take on what we have been discussing? Make America intelligent again.
you. I unfortunately, because I didn't get I don't know what's going on, but I didn't get the reminder
Mhm.
for your live, so I didn't get to hear your announcement. Maybe I should just go back into it. I don't know what the announcement was about. Can you give me just a quick rundown on what it was?
Basically, I was comparing this whole hypocrisy of how, like, one political cult usually aims at the same things that they do when they're in power, and they're bad when the others collective does it, but when they do it, it's a bunch of excuses. Basically what the slow taps do with the financial position of us Latinos, when we talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
the black community, which is often the topic that we see from the mics. Usually, it's a lot of pull yourself by your own bootstraps. And a lot of stuff, has been said about, like, keep working, keep doing better, keep doing this, keep doing that. And we always push them to move forward. But when it comes to our issues and when we talk about our financial position, which is below, and it hasn't improved since the 1960s, it's always a bunch of excuses as to why we're not talking about what we're supposed to do. And that it's a question that I posed before I went into an intermission, and I would love for you guys to respond based on what I'm going to share right here. I'm going to share this graphic that, like I said, this is not a Denise thing before you come for me. This is a census and data and statistics thing. When it shows that basically, if you look at the percentage of the sharing upper income among men by race and ethnicity from the 1960s to 2016. In the 1960s, the black men in the upper income class were only 13%, and Latinos used to be at a 19% in the upper class. Throughout the 1970s and the 80s and 1990s, we took a nosedive all the way down to almost 14 to 15%, whereas black men in the 80s and the 90s have kept a steady position at 22%. And then they rose up in 2016 to 23%. And they stayed there all the way steady from 1990s all the way to 2016, whereas we took a nosedive, obviously, because of the way we work, and we went back to 19% that we had in 1960s, and we're stationary in 19%. So what is going to happen, which is the question of this, when I say make America intelligent again, and we're seeing it with our political views as much as our financial abuse, our financial position. What's going to happen if we keep pushing forward for black men and black women to work and better themselves and push forward and work more? But when it comes to us and the same issues that we have, we make excuses. What's going to happen in 19 years or 20 years from now?
Yeah, I think you made a great point. Something I think in the beginning of my of the time that I've been on YouTube or doing the podcast, something I've raised, but I haven't really dive deep or lay the hammer down. That's a great point. We have to understand that the Latin community has, as I've always said, is literally a split comparison to the black community in majority of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the same ways how white supremacy attacks the black community, Latin community gets attacked as well. In the same issues, literally apples to apples, in the same, even in the same ranges of exploitation, apples to apples, obviously there's going to be some slight differences, but the point is that, the question that you raise is that in 19 years, the Latin community is probably going to decline heavily because you said something very, very, very interesting, that some of these Latin folks who are first, second, or third generation, who is basically sucking on the teat of the baby boomers or the Gen X, who made it possible for the type of lifestyle or the type of benefits that they received, are going to start seeing a harsh decline in said lifestyle, and I think that two things is going to either happen. No, actually three things is either going to happen. One, they're going to accept it and learn to adapt. Two, they're going to get more angry and blame Mr. BBC for it when it has nothing to do with that. Or three, they will actually get, they will actually, fall down and die away. You know what I'm saying? There's either those three things is either going to happen. The also going back to what you said about the financial bracket of genders, I haven't heard that study. I wasn't aware of that study, and thanks for getting me more educated in such way. But this is something, as Latin people, this is something that we have to understand financially, we are uneducated.
Yeah.
Financially, the first thing that we're taught outside of the second thing, talking about go to college and get yourself a good job, is send money back home to help out your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm a quote a Jay-Z line. Why give back to the poor when I'm one of them? I give back to me, and that's a win-win.
Yeah. That
So
is so true.
so it's a fucked up thing to say, and I understand in most of our communities, our families are in a financial deficit to the point where some of them are eating bottle caps. I get it, and I totally understand, but literally giving 10 to 20 something percent of your net income to your family that is still going to be in the same position that they were in yesterday. The only difference is they're eating bottle caps with a little bit of ketchup on top. That's it. So it will not help out or sway anything else. My best recommendation, and this is not financial advice, but my opinion is that giving back to yourself in order to build something up to help your family later on, that is going to be something beneficial in the long run. You know, uh, again, Latin folks, we get stuck into this thing where we have to help out the people out in our countries. There's nothing wrong with that, but knowing when to do it. Knowing when to do it. That's the reason why the economic game in this country, in our communities, is so low, because the majority of the workers that actually do that we see are immigrants, are
Yeah.
Latin immigrants. It's rare to see a first generation Latin person actually owning a business, a very successful business.
Yeah.
It's rare, and it's even more rare for a second, third, or fourth, and fifth generation Latin person doing the same thing. The thing
It's
is,
it. Sorry to cut you off, but there
yeah,
is a saying amongst corporate people that they say the first generation creates it, the second generation makes it better, and the third generation fucks it up.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's always
and
like that.
and the thing is, the reason why our economic, game is messed up is, like I said before, there is no community to build it upon, because the immigrant class who is here working their ass off is sending it to Mexico, Dominican Republic, and elsewhere, where that money doesn't get circulated or gets beneficial whatsoever. It gets you're basically just shitting your money away.
Yeah.
And when I say I get criticized for this, and I've always been criticized for the thing that I said one time on Rancho's stream, and I still stand by it. The thing is, these people are too fucking brain dead to figure out what I'm saying. Is let's take care of home first, and then I'll worry about bubble fuck somewhere else.
Yeah.
Let's take care of our people first. And then people in Mexico and all our home countries, I could care less about that. I'll take care of them once we get home court advantage take care first.
Absolutely. It's kind of like the same. If we're gonna use an analogy, it's kind of like the same thing that flight attendants tell us when we board a plane. You know, put your mask on you first, your oxygen mask first, and then help others. You know, it's the
No,
same
yeah, no,
thing.
you're right. And the thing is, when I said it, everybody gasped. Oh my God! What did you say? It's true. Take care of what the fuck we got going here first, and then we'll take care of whatever the case is, our parents' home country second. Because the thing is, let's be 1,000% honest. Anybody that's a Latin person that comes here are not fucking going back to their country. Let's keep it real. The
Um,
majority, literally 99% of people here who are first, second, or even immigrants are not going to go back and build their own community up. No, they're going to stay right here. The few that do go back, they're not going to build that community. What they're going to do is just establish themselves a really good, cheap place to live at.
Yep.
So this is something that we have to be completely honest about. We have to be completely honest about. If these Hispanoteps really care so much and call themselves conquerors, financially, they ain't conquering shit. They're getting fucked.
Yeah.
So my thing is, the game plan is not having multiple kids and just letting an imaginary person up in the sky take care of everything. No. You need to actually bust your ass and actually work to get shit done. And be smart about it.
And you know what's crazy? I'm gonna show something that I posted after I started getting the excuses. Keep on going, but I'm gonna show it. Keep talking.
What I'm saying is, like I said, and be smart about it. Be smart about your financial decisions. Be smart about it. If you're getting paid $10 an hour, and your dream is to own a home or whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can even make ends meet by the end of the week, then guess what? Get another job that pays you more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Work your ass off. Like I've always said, and this is something I had to learn the hard way. When I got my gym, the first thing I did was hire some of the people around my neighborhood. That's the first thing I did. Mind you, it's in northern New Jersey. It was in northern, well, it still is, but it was in northern New Jersey. And I literally hired, the majority of it was the people that I grew up around in my old block. 50-something% of them people didn't even show up.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, I was telling them, I'm going to pay you $16 an hour. Within 3 months, I'll bump it up to 20 so I can help you out.
Yeah, that was nice.
50-something% of them didn't even show up.
Jesus Christ.
Radical.
Hold on, give me 1 minute. The other percentage that did show up complained about because it was too fucking far.
Oh my God.
And I told them, who gives a fuck? You didn't have a job. So I'm giving you a job right now. Long story short, the only people that actually stayed was 3. I swear to God, was 3 people that actually stayed. And I needed a janitor. So I hired one of my boys that was actually working for ABM. I don't know if y'all know the company, but it's a cleaning company. I literally hired him. And I said, I'll pay you the same thing. Just fucking do it for the gym. That's it. You know? And I helped him out. But the majority, if you go back, I could literally go back to my old block right now. The same people that I told them, yo, I'm going to hook you up with a job. I'm going to pay you this and this and this and this and this, are in the same fucking position that they're in the day that I told them. Now.
Wow.
They're in the same fucking position. Some of them even worse. So my point is, everybody's not meant to be a chief. Everybody's not meant to be a boss. There's people who were born here to just be workers. And that's okay, and that's no disrespect to nobody. But it is what it is. The majority of the people who we speak to every day are fucking workers. They're never going to accomplish anything. When they pass away, they're going to be literally a speck of sand in the timeline of what is this life. Literally. Yeah. So when I see people coming at Denise, I see people coming at me, or whatever the case is, I just got to sit back and look at the bigger picture. At the end of the day, who's going to be remembered?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that I see. It's nice that you brought that point up, because it brings literally me back to this situation. Like last week, I was explaining how marriage won't save you from remaining at the bottom. Marriage won't save you from a lot of things, and it's not tool to measure how accomplished you are. And one thing that I got a lot of pushback, because basically a lot of these select groups of people think that wear and tear, it's something that they don't want to experience, because the point that one of the panel members brought up was that well, they saw their parents and grandparents work themselves to death, and they don't want to do that, and they don't have to work as hard to do certain things, disregarding the fact that a lot of the slow taps and the Hispano taps, the reason why they are taps is because they united simply because they believe that the American empire is at a financial war with Latin America, amongst other countries. And I've said many times, and even the therapist that I brought up here said, the person that holds the gold makes the rules. And you can't want Latin America to actually look better, be the boss, move forward, and don't get exploited and abused by the American empire if you don't become what you're supposed to become. And that is it comes from a financial aspect. And the first thing you need to change is your mindset. And after that, is your financial stance. But because I am a woman, a lot of people come at me and attack me, basically telling me I'm everything but a child of God. And I decided to post this, leave this on my Instagram page, so that people can understand, probably coming from a
Is
man that has
that
Jordan
Jordan Peterson?
Peterson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has gray hair and he's a male. So it's an authority figure. Let's see if Jordan Peterson agrees with what I'm saying.
$1,000 a year for your family, but let's say for you personally, additional income has zero impact on your quality of life. Zero. So why work 80 hours a week? Well, men will do it. Some men, very few. A handful of hyper-competitive men who are obsessed with hitting the pinnacle of the given dominance hierarchy they're in will happily work 80 hours a week, and they'll forego everything else. Relationships, family, children, way in the second category. And so those men are often very difficult to live with too, because they're so obsessed with their career. It's hard to have a relationship with them. And maybe they don't have much of a relationship with their kids, but they're damn good at what they do. And part of that is they're smart and disciplined, and they'll work nonstop all the time. It's like an obsession. And that's the sort of people who run things. Those are the people who run things.
Now, I don't know if you guys got the points that he made when he explains. Those are the people who run things. These people want to run things based on Cristo Rey, Radical, and Jose. Okay.
Excuse me, when I would like
Go
to.
ahead.
Okay. First of all, as the only baby boomer on the panel, I'm proud of it. Okay. When I hear somebody,
That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt, Jose. Baby boomer and proud of it.
but when I hear some of these people talking about they don't want to work hard because they saw their father's slaves and blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. I grew up on public assistance. Okay. And I took advantage of the opportunity that I was able to get. What was the result? I've been a municipal employee for 22 years. When I started working for the city of New York, my annual salary was $27,000.
Wow.
Okay. And that's with a bachelor's degree, mind you. My salary is over $60,000 now.
Wow. You see?
Okay. And not only that, and if you don't like hearing it, too freaking bad. You can just kiss my hairy butt. I am also a homeowner. Why? Because I strive to do better for myself. It is not enough just to be a Joe Schmo and not try to achieve anything. And let me tell you something. I'm working because I like my job. I can retire now if I freaking want to, and I'll get a pension right now. Okay, the reason why I'm doing this, I'm one of those crazy people who actually loves this job, and I get joy doing my job, even though I have to deal with the stupidity of some of my coworkers and the stupidity with management, and particularly when management pegs me. Well, I'll talk with you about it in the backstage and tax me kind of like a pseudo trainer without letting me know about it. I don't think so. Look, just because I'm the only one that gets the stuff done right doesn't mean that the other people cannot try harder. And forgive me if I'm getting on a rant, but when I see certain people talking about, oh, they shouldn't have to work hard. Okay, look, nothing is given to you on a platter. You have to work hard for everything that you have. Everything I have, it's because of my work effort. And those who do not like it, shut up and get out. And I'm sorry for saying that.
You could not said it better. And it's something that we're going to continue to punch on. Work is not supposed to feel good. It's called a job for a reason. And the fact that we have millennials today being so mediocre to the point that they're like, oh, it doesn't feel good. I don't want to face wear and tear. Wear and tear comes
I
with
just want
life.
to have babies, and God will take care of it.
Well, you know
and let me tell something real quick. I'm going to say something as an immigrant into this country that a lot of people don't understand. I had to work hard for every little thing. I didn't even knew where Walgreens was. I had no friends, no family when I came into this country. I came with $500 in my pocket and a dream of making it. And I had to work hard. And a lot of people don't understand, and especially the slow types that think that wear and tear is not supposed to happen to you. We have big techs right now, people that work in big tech companies right now, doing 60, 80, even 100 hours per week. Jack Dorsey just released, he works 19 hours a day.
Wait, real quick. Melanated Night, I don't know, you probably heard this story about the $500 coming to this country and stuff. Best believe when you guys have kids, that $500 story is always going to go down to like 400, to the point she's going to be like, I came to this country with 3 cents in my pocket.
No, it's going to be with a deficit of 20 cents.
No, I literally, he knows my story because Melanie and I met me and was my friend when I was still, getting my stuff together. But to be honest with you, people don't understand, and I want to make this very clear. I don't know who you're saving your body for, but one thing that you need to understand is that regardless of how healthy you keep yourself, there's only one outcome out of life, and that is death. You're going to die. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to die with a bunch of debt, struggling, and crisis left behind for your children? Or you want to die with your children not even having to worry if they have money to bury your house?
And also, if you're going to like basically excommunicate yourself and you have a credit card, go to radicallatino.com, max that credit card out with me, and just go to paradise. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, who's going to collect the money?
Stop it.
Excuse me, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just make this clear. As the only born-again Christian of the town, okay, I believe in God, but I also believe in reality. I also believe in common sense. I'm not going to pray to God to get me a promotion and then not do everything I have to do to get that promotion.
Exactly.
God gave me common sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's something
Exactly.
that
There's people out here thinking that they could get 3 kids and just pray that everything's going to be all right. I don't think that works. Praying is not going to turn them lights on.
Yeah, and not only that, I want people to understand something. I've said it before. We're not going to be throwing babies at the system. That's not the way it works. You're bringing, and I've said it even when I started, I think that was my second show. Are we having kids too soon? Babies cost.
Yes.
Raising a child on public assistance and public school costs $250,000 over a lifetime.
That
That
is
is
Like
the price of a
I
kid.
I'm
that
telling you
is
right now, there's actually some people I still know that look at babies as currency because of the tax, you know what I'm saying, taxes and stuff. I used to my boy used to date this girl, Puerto Rican girl,
Mhm.
that her mom was forever pregnant with a new kid.
Jesus
She
Christ.
she was maybe my friend was child number, I don't know, 3, and she had like 4 other like you know, sisters and brothers, and her mom was already pregnant with child number 8. And the only reason why was because, and she was not shy about it. She was actually pretty proud. She said it's because of taxes.
Hmm.
She only gets pregnant because of taxes. And when she found out that the cap, I believe the cap at that time was 8 kids, she was gonna stop from there. I'm like, okay.
Hmm.
There's
uh,
I
literally there's literally people out here, you know, low hanging fruit type of lifestyles. You mean to tell me you rather just open your legs and have kids instead of actually building something because of taxes? And on top of that, all that tax money you're getting, what are you doing for it? You know what I'm
uh,
saying?
yeah.
guys, do you know how many baby mamas I have to deal with in my life? Zero. Zero. Enough said.
Yeah, and that it's and basically that's what the point that I was bringing on last week when I was saying, if you as ladies, we have to think about these decisions and marry more establishment financially, obviously, because we have a biological clock, men don't. And we have to understand that men have to earn their value in society. We are born with value because we're born with a womb that can reproduce. Men have to go out there and find it, and that takes a lot of work.
That's right. Shut up and get back into the kitchen.
So basically, ladies, like I said, if I know I have 16% of my public is ladies. It's if you're looking to marry, look for a more establishment. Don't listen to the lazy, underproductive type of slow taps or any mics that you might encounter, because at this time they can't provide for you. And we have heard left and right how many women do not want to provide more than 20 from 0 to 20% of the family income. So we know that women are looking to be provided for. And if that's what you want, look for older guys that are more established. I said 35 and over. And to be honest with you, I want to start with the closing statements for today. It's time to make the Latino sector of America intelligent again. Bring back the baby boomer mentality. Bring back the Gen X mentality. Bring back the hardworking mentality. Bring back the credit that we're living on today because of Latino men and women of the past. Bring it the fuck back. Stop consuming fentanyl. Stop consuming cocaine. Stop consuming overly alcohol. I get it. We all are in festivities. We consume alcohol and whatnot. But stop being a drunken bastard and start doing what you have to do. And ladies, if you see these tendencies, watch out. Look for the men of substance today, because a lot of these men actually that are in the slow tip category. I'm not talking about men like Radical. Is still a millennial. Radical is still a millennial, but Radical doesn't move like the slow tips. If you don't see men that has a plan, that's the question of a first date. What is your 5-year plan? If he doesn't answer that question properly, say you're going to the bathroom, jump out the window.
Or if he says, "I'm gonna be working on my mixtape, and I'm gonna be living and sleeping on your couch," You
Oh my
heard?
God, that's horrible.
Saying he's a keeper. No, let me stop.
Now I see that Rakim joined in. Rakim, how are you doing?
What's up? What's up? What's up, Denise? What's up to everybody on the panel? Jose, what's up, Rad?
Hey,
How's
Rakim, how you
everybody doing
doing?
today?
Yo, what up? What up?
Good,
What up?
good.
I'm
So,
doing
what's
pretty
your
well.
take? What's your take on Make America Intelligent Again? Did you saw what we were talking about on regards of the taps?
Yes, I have. And some of these tests are like that Deion Ferris song. How it go? They say I'm hopeless, like a penny with a hole in it. That's how some of these steps are. They hopeless, man. They hopeless. You can't. It's not much. It's not much you can really do for some of these people. A lot of these people usually just they don't take the time to research information, even if it's information that literally affects them. Some of these people have insecurities. They have jealousy and insecure issues where they have to compare themselves to other groups just to be able to feel that they're on a better playing field instead of actually analyzing issues that's going on within their communities. And some of these people you can't take them serious. They're not meant to be taken serious. You just have to look at
Wait,
them.
you can't take having kids and worrying about God taking care of the whole thing. You can't take that advice seriously. You know what?
Nah.
You're not Hispanicized. Get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, yeah.
But
Now, Rakim, I want to ask you the same question that I asked Radical and Jose. What do you think is going to happen if the slow tap community continues to tell you guys to keep working, bully you guys, and to keep working, while when they are faced with the same problems, they make excuses? What's going to happen in 10 years, 19 years from now? What's your take on that?
Well, my take on that, Denise, is like as time goes on, with the slow taps don't understand is that America is a rigged system where like you're gonna see more and more, like you've already seen it in the black community, and it is gonna definitely happen in the Latin community. Now, I'm not Latino. I usually don't like to speak on certain issues within the Latin diaspora within the group, but you're going to see the same games and tricks that has been played on the African American community, where as time goes on, if the Latin community becomes the bigger population, they too will be the face of crime. You will start seeing negative media portraying Latin Americans as that. Poverty is going to go up within the Latin community. Um, Jobs are going to get scarce, and you're going to see crime. You're going to see more crime within the Latin community, what you haven't already seen now, because you do have a lot of different communities, and it has nothing to do with being black or Latin. This is just the game that America plays, where you having people, if they think that Christ is going to take care of their children, you can teach all your children the morals in the world. If you don't have the resources to take care of those children, they're going to go get those resources somewhere else. Some people have the character to, tough it out and, work towards a better future. Other people, not so much. Some people will resort to illegal activity to get money, especially if they need the money. Um, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to start seeing more negative portrayals of Latin people in the United States until the point that people are going to really have a negative perception, just like they do with Black Americans, because that's the game that's been played. A lot of people with the slow tests, they like to use regurgitated arguments as far as it comes to Black Americans need to do this and they need to do that, without not even fully understanding what has transpired in this country, or let's just keep it real, not really caring, just using that as a talking point to be able to pedestalize themselves, to make themselves feel like they're more superior, without really, without really knowing what they're talking about. But I have a video, Denise, that I would like you to play if you can, of the
Absolutely.
late great Dr. King. And it's funny because now a lot of people quote Dr. King, but at the time of his death, he was the most hated man in America. And after he got killed, 73% of America was indifferent with what happened to him, which means in most cases they just really didn't care. So I'm gonna put it in the
That kind of sounds like my YouTube analytics. 73% of people hate me. Shit.
but I put it in the private chat, Denise.
Okay, give me 1 second. But basically, you want to know something crazy? You're saying now that the negative portrayal of the Latino, and I want to remind people, there's a lot of people right now that think that Latin America is precisely what we see in Narcos. So
Yeah, you're right.
So to be honest with you, it's already happening. I don't know why we think that we're any better. I honestly don't understand. But
And
I'm gonna.
I just wanted to say this one thing. I'm sorry, Denise.
No, go
And
ahead.
you can already see parts of what I was just saying transpire within the state of California, because we know, like, as far as minority representation goes in California, Latinos make up a large majority of the minority representation. And what you're seeing now is more and more Latinos being imprisoned due to crimes within impoverished communities throughout LA, throughout Oakland, throughout different parts of California, where it's a large Latin population, where it's poverty and, you know, a lack of education.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna share what you sent me so that people can see it. I'm gonna play it.
Every other group that came as an immigrant,
Hold
somehow,
on. Let me see.
not easily. What is it about the Negro? I mean, every other group that came as an immigrant, somehow, not easily, but somehow got around it. Is it just the fact
What?
that Negroes are black?
White America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma. America freed the slaves in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base. And yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps, but it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes, by the thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression and as a result of a society that deliberately made his color a stigma and something worthless and degrading.
Well, you heard it from the man, and something that
Well, whites. What? There's still poor people that are white. What about them?
I'm gonna say something that that reminded me of, and something that my mom always says, and it's we are not supposed to judge people by their end results, but judge them on their journey. And that's something that we're seeing right now, and we have seen throughout history and through politics. We've seen it through socioeconomics, through everything. And it's funny that the point that MLK was doing It's exactly what we're seeing right now being done to Latinos in a different way. And it's more psychological because we come to this country and we have no land, because even in Latin America, America has the strength and the power to crush us with one signature. And we come to this country with nothing. And it's so crazy that the first thing we go to is to talk crap about the people that went through what we're going through before us. And we have the nerve to tell them, hey, why are you doing this? Look at what I am doing. That is not leaving us in a better position at all. But we're trying to do that to get brownie points, to be in line to get the handouts, because basically that's what America has left us to, fight for. I don't know if you noticed in the graphic that I posted, they don't group us with Asians or white people, which is something that, and I'm going to say something regarding that. I'm so tired of us trying to compare ourselves to Black Americans. If Black Americans are at the bottom, then why are we comparing ourselves to Black American? I don't mean no disrespect to my Black folks that watch me, but if you consider them as a slow tip, that they're at the bottom, why the hell are you comparing yourself to the quote unquote losers of the race and not the winners? If your goal is to thrive in society, you need to understand that for every Latino in the upper class that exists, there is literally two other people that exist for every Latino that exists in the upper class. And that person, you have to deal literally with basically the 45% that Asians have and the 42% that white Americans have. That is the goal. I even not posted, but shared on one of Radical streams. I don't recall which one right now. The wealth of Asians is estimated to be at 96%, $96,000 a year. White Americans have a wealth of 69,000. That's the median, the average income in the household of white Americans is 69,000. Latinos is $54,000. You're comparing yourself to Black Americans, but if you're comparing yourself to quote unquote the losers of the race, why you're not comparing yourself to the winners of the race? That is my question, because you're supposed to compare yourself to the people that are winning, just as Black Americans are comparing themselves to white people because they know that they are winning. They're
I
not
will
comparing
probably
themselves to Latinos.
I will probably say the reason one is because deep down they actually are intimidated by black folks, um, intimidated about the resilience, you know, and deep down they know that they're not white themselves, so they have to compare themselves to somebody that's right next to them, you know,
Yeah,
in order to feel secure, to feel safe. That's
absolutely.
that's how I see it, because let's be 100% honest. Um, when Latinos come to this country, or even still in this country, first, second, third, fourth generation, majority of Latinos are not in white areas. The majority of Latinos are still in black areas. If you want to call a black area economically deprived area, but economically deprived areas that consist of black and Latin people. This is not coincidental. This is something did made purposely. You know what I mean? And the thing is that comparing themselves to somebody close to you, is because deep down they they just want to feel better about their situation.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I'm saying. It's like,
because
oh,
one
I'm
of
not
them,
the one losing. I'm not the one
yeah,
at the bottom. But I'm like, if you compare your wealth to the highest groups, $50,000 on average is not enough for you to live in any state of
exactly,
America.
exactly. And the thing is, it's like saying it's like saying it's like both people. It's like a group of people A, right, is eating shit, and a group of people B is eating shit with a little bit of a little bit of
Ketchup,
grapes on it.
ketchup.
Yeah, and group A, no, I'm sorry, group B is making fun of group A about the lack of ketchup that they have in their shit. Either way, both groups are eating shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And not only that, like I said, if you go to the institute and go and look at the census, like I said, you have to understand that the Black community went through a crisis of mass incarceration and the crack crisis, and that also affected the Puerto Rican population. And when you look at both of our groups, you will understand that the large majority of our households are either single men or single mothers, and a very short is families. And when you explore that option and you divide it by gender or race or whatever, I mean, or gender or sex, whatever you want to call it, Black men in particular, 67 of them are unmarried. Okay. 63% are unmarried. And when you divide them solely by the men, discount the baby mamas that are living on welfare or are generating less than $30,000 a year on average. When you separate the men, which is what you should compare yourself to, men are doing 4% better, have more income than all of us. Okay. So if by the comparison of men, like I showed here the graphic, men in our community are 4% down. They're 4% down below the same men that they love to talk crap about. So it's like I said in the question, if you keep pushing and bullying Black men into working harder, which is okay. I don't see Black men complaining about that. But when it comes to you, because we have the same problems, you make excuses for Latino men. What's going to happen is that they're going to move even further up, and we're going to become the bottom, the standard bottom that we already are in the US, and it's becoming a trend that started in 2016. Now, guys, I'm going to start wrapping this up. So I'm going to start with final statements. I want final statements from Jose, then Radical, and then Rakim. So, Jose, final thoughts.
Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to be on your stream. And of course, it was something to think about. And of course, only people with brain cells that hasn't deteriorated into mush can understand this a little bit. But that's the reality. And unfortunately, the MIG community is ever expanding. I think they should come up with their own country and just move there.
And their anthem.
Yes. I just want to take an opportunity to let people know that I'm going to be live this Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 Central Standard Time. And the topic for discussion should be, should we make New Year's resolutions? So it's going to be a little bit more lighthearted, because we do need to have a little bit of fun. You know, we can't always talk about serious issues. We have to have a little fun, particularly now when the holidays are coming. And the fact of the matter is now,
Oh my
17th
God, here we
day,
go. Here we go.
first day of winter, and I'm looking forward to it. So, and even the cold is good because it's reported to be heading to California. Isn't that wonderful?
No,
So,
it's not. It's not.
yes. So, and of course, it's always a pleasure to speak with you guys. Now, I already sent you guys the link. So, hope this, I know everyone's busy, but I hope to see at least some of you show up. And of course, I'm going to close the same way I always close. People, please be careful out there. because we are dealing with COVID 19, which has killed almost 800,000 people in this country so far. And we must do everything possible to avoid contact with the mentally and intellectually challenged, otherwise the mix, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity, and then we will be talking like someone who is brain damaged and can't think it all.
Okay. Thank you, Jose. I'm gonna put you backstage. Don't go anywhere. Radical Latino. Final thoughts on make America in Latin America intelligent again.
My final thoughts is we gotta make more babies. Don't worry about anything else. Let God take care of it. You heard? What was it? No. We got Hispanicized America. No, let me stop. My final thoughts is basically great stream, Denise. Always enjoy your analytical views and breakdowns of certain things. You actually do you open my eyes to a lot of things, that I'm not aware of. You know what I mean? So definitely huge shout out to you about that. My thoughts on this whole thing is check. Let's check each other. If you see certain people in our communities doing wrong, let's not be shy into pulling their coat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people out here walking around like their shit don't stink, and they're the biggest ones to hide something. Just that, and also bettering yourself. Like Jose just said, he's gonna have a New Year's panel, or whatever. If we should make New Year's resolutions and stuff, and if you do believe in that, or if you have done that, make at least one of your resolutions. Not even don't wait for the New Year's. Do it now, as to self improve, because that whole hatred thing and not liking another group that's no lie, that's female shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why complain about another group of men? That's literally female shit. That makes me that doesn't make no man attractive to other women. You know what I mean? When constantly complaining about Mr. BBC. So yeah, with that being said, that's basically about it. Thank you again, Denise.
No problem. Thank you, Radical. I'm gonna put you backstage. Don't go anywhere. Rakim, final thoughts.
Well, once again, shout out to you, Denise. Thank you for allowing me on your platform once again. And I just wanted to say that the mics, as Jose would like to call them, the mental and intellectually challenged. A lot of these people don't read. A lot of these people just regurgitate information, whatever fits their narrative. So, argue their points. A lot of them, don't really care about much but that, a lot of these guys don't really understand, the they don't really understand how government policy works, the things that was actually put in place to destroy um mostly the black community. And then you have, like, shout out to my boy Moon. I see he's in the building. Like, you had these areas, just like you were saying, that devastated the Boricua community here in the States as well, like crack cocaine and different things like that. If you look at the South Bronx in the 80s, it was a lot of Puerto Ricans that was affected by that. Bushwick, Brooklyn, the Lower East Side of Manhattan, Humboldt Park in Chicago, where it goes to show you that no matter the group, if people are put in a dangerous situation where they're economically not inclined, or at a disadvantage, people will resort to crime, and people will resort to whatever means that they have to do to survive. And that can affect any group. And if people don't pay close attention, things can happen that way with your group as well.
Mhm.
It's going to be people going to have to understand that we're everyone. Everyone's going to have to work. People are going to have to, pay close attention to the way the economy goes because America, the way America is built, America is always looking to have an underclass of people. America is always looking for people to fill these prisons. They're always looking for people to, do the dirty work and to, have a villain to be able to, keep their hands clean when they're in the background doing dirty work. So focus and pay close attention because before you know it, 20, 30 years down the line, you may have a conversation with the next generation of children and you guys may not understand each other because things have changed so much for the worse that you won't even be able to see what your children or grandchildren is talking about because they fallen victim to the way that the American system has run. So that's all I got to say. And thank you once again, Denise.
No problem. Thank you, Rakim, for tuning in. And absolutely, I agree, guys. I'm gonna be very general on what I'm gonna say, but we have to start thinking about reality more and more about what's ahead. Okay, we know already, and I showed here before. If you haven't watched the series of automation, most of the jobs that Latino hold are replaceable by automation. It's going to happen. This is not a Denise thing, like a lot of people love to say, like, oh, this is a Denise thing. Why you keep making things up? Like, literally, I'm not making it up. In 30 years, all the work, all the jobs that we have, because Latinos drop out of between high school and the first 2 years of college, 75 of Latinos drop out of school. And because of that, we only have jobs. We don't have careers or high income skills. We have replaceable jobs. We're seeing it on retail. Retail is replacing people with machines. If we keep talking crap about, and I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's because your better half, your fiance, is an African American. No, this doesn't have anything to do with African Americans. This has to do with what we got to do. If we keep talking crap, our collective keeps talking crap about African Americans instead of just letting them do whatever they want to do and us taking care of home, we are going to become the sad part of America. And if you don't believe me, keep focusing on the spirituality, which is what our indigenous people did. Our indigenous people were focused on their gods, their rituals, and what happened to them when the world advanced, but we didn't. Cristo Rey is not going to save you. The Catholic Church is not coming to save you. They're not coming to fight our fights. I get it. We're highly spiritual as Latinos, but your spirituality doesn't have anything to do with your financial and professional competence. At the same time, politically speaking, we need to start aligning our votes and our views with what makes sense and not what sounds pretty. We saw how we were told, hey, vote for me and I'm going to give you this and I'm going to give you that. None of that shit happened. None of those things that they promised us happen. Black Americans are seeing it. Asian Americans are seeing it. White Americans are seeing it. We're the only ones that don't want to see it. We want to say that, oh, let's go to Republicans. They are the same people. Let's end the oligarchy and let's not join the stupidity. Make America and make Latin America and Latinos in America intelligent again. With that being said, guys, tomorrow I'm going to have a show at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. and it's gonna be at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Tonight, I'm going to be joining Radical Latino. Like I said before, it's gonna be for a while the last time that I join a panel. So make sure you tune in, on Radical Latino tonight. I believe it's at 7:30 PDT and 10:30 Eastern time. So make sure you tune in to Radical Latino so you can see me join a panel. I'm gonna take a break from that. I'm gonna be at Jose sometimes, so also make sure you tune in to Jose. But leave the stupidity out. I'm not going to keep responding to stupid comments. I'm not going to continue to deal with stupidity. And also, if you come at me personally, I'm gonna come at you personally. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't use the victim cards after that. But without any further ado, guys, thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed this show. You have learned something. You have taken something with you. I want to thank Pamela Moonchaser that came at the end of the stream. Thank you very much. Thank you for the compliments, Moonchaser. This glow comes from melanated night and being, marriage bliss. So thank you guys for tuning in. I love you very much. Hugs to you, Latin Splainer. See you guys tomorrow.
Ooh.